Welcome to Module FU003 of Oricon's Upskill Modular Training Program devoted to Revit and BIM. This module is titled Sprinkler Head Layout to Code Requirements and is brought to you on behalf of Oricon by A2K Technologies. We will be using the purchased material supplied by Oricon and A2K Technologies. Classroom notes and handouts are available for note-taking through the Exemplar portal. Throughout the training today, we will be covering the following topics: sprinkler types, placing sprinklers, and array and align sprinklers. Introduction. To follow this lecture, start Revit and open the file titled Master MEP Fire FU003. The views referred to in this module can be found in the project browser under B Working and Sprinkler. Go to the ceiling plan view titled 02 RCP Sprinkler Layout. Go to the visibility graphics by typing in VV and ensure here that the relevant fire and piping categories are switched on. And click OK. Zoom in to the top portion of the plan between grids 3 and 4 and see that we have a couple of sprinkler heads placed here. Sprinkler types. Let's take a quick look at how sprinkler heads can differ and what conditions in the model might govern which ones to use. Select the sprinkler on the left and refer to its properties. Notice that this sprinkler is a hosted pendant and its current host is the linked arc ceiling. Now select the sprinkler on the right and again refer to the properties. Notice that this sprinkler is a non-hosted upright. It's associated to the level 2 work plane in this project with an offset value of 2385. It's important to be aware of what type of family you are using, as it could have future ramifications in the way it works within the model. Of course, a face-based or specific ceiling-hosted sprinkler family will always require a ceiling or a face to host itself on, which sometimes the ARC model will not give you. So in that case, you may have no choice but to use a non-hosted family. Placing sprinklers. Scroll across to the adjacent room between grids 4 and 5. We are going to use this space to practice placing some sprinkler heads. On the Systems tab, select Sprinkler and from the Type selector, choose 15mm pendant on drop. Because this is a face-based family, we will be presented with a few placement options on the contextual ribbon. We do not want to place this sprinkler on a vertical face, so choose Place on Face, and Revit should now allow us to place this sprinkler on a ceiling. Move the cursor into the drawing area over the ceiling and you should be able to see the sprinkler head you are about to place. Click to place the sprinkler on an intersection of the 600 by 600 ceiling grid. This sprinkler will host itself on the ceiling. Open the section view and scroll in and we can see this sprinkler sitting on the ceiling. Go back to the ceiling plan view and select the sprinkler tool again from the Systems tab. but this time choose the 15mm upright non-hosted sprinkler head. Click to place it adjacent to the pendant on a ceiling tile grid intersection. Notice that this sprinkler is not currently visible in this view. Go back to the section view and notice that this sprinkler is sitting on the floor. This sprinkler is associated with the level work plane of the view that it was placed in, and because we did not set any offset value, it defaulted to 0, and thus the sprinkler sits on the level line, or in other words, on the floor. Select the sprinkler head and give it an offset of 2385. Click Apply. Notice that it will move up to be level with the ceiling line. For the next exercise, we are going to go with the face-based sprinkler pendant. Array and align sprinklers. Open the ceiling plan view once more and move to the room between grids 5 and 6. We're going to place some more sprinklers here, but instead of choosing sprinkler from the Systems tab, this time let's right click on the existing pendant in the project, and from the shortcut menu that appears, let's choose Create Similar. Select the Place on Face option and click one sprinkler on an intersection of the ceiling tiles near the bottom left corner of the room. Like so. Press Escape twice. Select the sprinkler and move it 300mm in both a horizontal and vertical direction. And 300 vertically. I know now that this sprinkler is directly in the center of this 600 by 600 tile. Let's now take a look at the array tool to create the layout for this room. Note that the array tool can be quite useful, especially if you have specific code requirements for the distances between sprinklers and walls, etc. Copy a second sprinkler across to the right, like so. And then select both the sprinklers. From the Modify panel, choose the Array tool. On the Options bar, choose Linear Array. Make sure Group and Associate is checked on. Leave the number as 2 for now, and leave the Move To option as second. Click to enter the move start point, say the intersection of these two grids, and then click again for the end point, 3 tiles away. 1, 2, 3. Click in the model array value to change the array number from 2 to 3. And click and hit enter. The sprinklers have now been placed to equal spacing across the grid. However, there's a problem with these last 2 sprinklers. They've come out too close to the wall, and we need to make some adjustments here. The beauty of the array tool is that because these sprinklers remain grouped, we can move one or two at a time to adjust the spacings, and the entire sprinkler grid will adjust accordingly. For example, I can select these two sprinklers in the middle and move them down one tile's length, like so. Notice that the rest of the sprinklers will update. The array will remain associated with these sprinklers for as long as the groups are kept intact, so you can adjust the array or move specific sprinklers at any time to suit the requirements of the code spacing for each particular room. You can also use dimensions to manipulate and equalize the spacing of sprinklers in rooms where you may not have a ceiling grid as a guide. For example, if this room did not have this ceiling tile grid, let's say it was set plaster, I could utilize my dimension tool to dimension from firstly the wall, then to this first sprinkler, to this second sprinkler, and lastly to the wall on the other side. I can then click to place this dimension run and press escape twice. I'm going to want to ungroup these sprinklers from the previous array. I can select them and from the contextual ribbon pick ungroup. What I can now do is select the sprinkler individually, and this dimension will become editable. I can click it to change the value to something more specific, like 1200 say, hit enter, and my sprinkler will adjust accordingly. I now know that I have 1200 from each wall. So these dimensions can be quite useful in manipulating spacings of sprinklers also. This now concludes our module FU003 Sprinkler Head Layout to Code Requirements.